So I pretty much decided to start going through the car and fixing all the little issues, all the annoying little issues. My last couple videos, I did a wheel bearing and a ball joint on this side. Really squeaky, really annoying. But another issue I've been having is a really small coolant leak from under the radiator cap. It's not from the overflow. It's actually coming from under the cap. Almost like one of these seals is bad, but I actually replaced the cap with one off my other cars that I know is good, and it's still leaking. So I don't know if maybe this is warped or just not flat. I'm not sure what the issue is. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in a 3-row 60mm radiator along with a small 12-inch fan that I learned from my last video flows about 1900 CFM. The stalker only pulls about 800 to 900 CFM, so that is a huge improvement in airflow I'm going to get through this radiator. Install should be pretty easy. Of course, just pull out your stock junk. I'm not going to be using that anymore. Let's see, it looks like it has an automatic radiator because I see transmission lines down here that are plugged. So really it's just the upper lower hose, overflow bracket. Really easy radiator to pull out. This isn't really going to be a how-to because pretty much anybody can do this. So here's the combo of the 3-row 60mm radiator. You know what, let me show you the inside of it real quick. I just thought it was pretty cool just to actually see the 3-row and see what I'm talking about. You can actually see inside there's 3 rows of coolant passages as opposed to only 1 in the stock radiator. So it's three rows versus 1, so it's basically 3 times the flow. Let's get a side by side. This is a stock. Yep, still hot. So it's probably twice as thick, and it has 2 more rows of coolant to flow through. Looks like the stock one just has like 1 big row. This one has 3 little rows, but it holds a lot more volume of coolant in this radiator. So more volume obviously means you have more coolant to cool the engine, and since there's more surface area on this radiator, that's more cooling capacity for the fan. Basically there's more air flowing through the fins because there's more of them. So a combination of more coolant, more surface area, this fan flows twice the CFM. This should be a really efficient cooling setup. Alright, so I finally ran into a little snag installing this radiator. It's actually so large that when I try to line up the radiator bracket up top, this actually touches the core support before the bracket lines up. So basically it's so wide and a little bit taller maybe that it hits this corner. Not a big deal. All I'm going to do is get some channel locks and just bend it up a little bit. Maybe later on I can clean it up with a Dremel or something. I found it to be a better solution to actually roll the lip inwards. Like you see this lip here, I actually curled it in. That way it looks really close, but it's actually not making contact right there, and the bracket is lined up good. It's pretty cool. I unpinned the factory plug and then I just slipped it right into the factory plug. So I'm just gonna probably put some heat shrink over this and tape it up. But yeah, it's pretty cool because I just thought it was neat because I don't have to damage the factory plug. I just slipped in the male terminals into the female terminals in the factory connector. But that's enough of that. I'm going to clean up and fire it up and see this thing in action. Alright, it's all installed. One important side note, don't forget to reuse your overflow tank. It's actually a really important part of your coolant system. Yeah, it's pretty ugly. You can paint it or get an aftermarket one, but just be sure you use one. The purpose of it is whenever your coolant system is like really hot and operating temp, and even more so if it overheats, the coolant expands. The volume of the coolant system will exceed what it can contain, so it purges to the overflow tank. So what happens after that is when the coolant system actually starts to cool down, back down to ambient temp, it actually begins to contract the coolant in the system, and it creates a vacuum, and it actually sucks the coolant back in through the overflow tank into the radiator. So it's just kind of this exchange of hot, expanding, overflow, then cooling, contracting, and it sucks it back in. So yeah, this is an important piece of your system. I think I'm going to go ahead and get an aftermarket unit. I don't know, something shiny and pretty. And I thought it'd be cool to give away this fan. I literally only bought it to test it in this video. It's a brand new fan. I know it's a China fan. I know it's an eBay fan, but if you saw my last video, it actually tested to be a little bit better than the factory fan. It flowed like an extra 100 CFM. But yeah, it's a brand new fan. If you want this, comment below. I will give this away for free shipping to anybody who wants this 12-inch eBay fan. I know it's not a lot, but maybe somebody out there needs it for clearance issues, or I don't know. Comment below if you want it. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna neutral slam it.
The fuck? You still haven't fixed that?
Bullshit to that too, huh? Episode 2 of the, fuck, what's the title?